Tonight, we're setting aside fiction. We're here to tell 4 stories. 4 true accounts of terror. These are moments shared by survivors. Moments when that feeling of safety just completely dissolved. We're focusing on these unsettling encounters, unknown figures, strange happenings in isolated places, and really that chilling realization that the line between normal and danger can just vanish silently. We're telling these stories as they happen.
And the weight of these accounts, it comes from that reality. They happened. It forces you to think about how quickly familiar places can become terrifying.
Before we begin, please remember to subscribe, like, and share this content on the War Docs channel. Your support helps us bring these narratives to light. Okay, let's start. This first story, it taps into that feeling of waking up somewhere unfamiliar, maybe a bit disoriented. It involves a driver. He was from Louisiana, visiting his friend Tom out in Austin, Texas. Well, actually about an hour outside Austin. The house itself was key, old-fashioned, aged. He specifically remembered this creaking wooden porch. And inside, the air was thick with the smell of, old wood, maybe something a little musty, rustic. So he gets there, and he and Tom start catching up, drinking whiskey, pretty heavily, apparently. By around 5 in the afternoon, he's exhausted, drunk. Tom suggests he just crash in the spare room. Makes sense. As he walks down the hall of the room, he gets this feeling. The air in there was just still, like it hadn't been used in a long, long time. Anyway, he falls onto the bed, pulls up the covers, and he's out immediately. He wakes up later, middle of the night, pitch black. His mouth is incredibly dry, head spinning from the whiskey. There's just a tiny bit of moonlight coming through the window. And that's when he sees it. Over in the far corner of the room, near the closet door, an object. At first, his brain, still foggy, thinks, oh, it's a long black trench coat, maybe hanging on a coat rack, something totally normal. But he keeps looking, trying to focus in the dark. And this cold feeling starts in his stomach. The shape isn't right. It's too broad up top. Stiff, almost like shoulders. It didn't hang like fabric. It looked more like a solid silhouette just standing there, watching. And he realizes he didn't see anything like that when he first came into the room. Nothing at all. His heart just starts pounding, really heavy against his ribs.
And that ambiguity is terrifying. The mind scrambles to identify it coat, shadow, but when it can't, the default becomes threat. That unresolved shape creates real dread.
Right. So he shuts his eyes tight, tries to tell himself it's the shadows, the drink. He just lies there, completely rigid, trying to force himself back to sleep. He doesn't know how long. But then something else wakes him. A sound, slow, soft, a creaking, like someone taking very careful steps across the old wooden floor. By now, the room isn't pitch black anymore. Dawn is starting to break, casting this dim light. He can make things out. He slowly turns his head, looks towards that corner, the silhouette. It's gone. He practically jumps out of bed, runs down the hall to Tom's room, starts shaking him awake. Tom's obviously confused and groggy, had slept right through everything. The narrator asks him, almost breathless, what about the black trench coat in the spare room? And Tom just looks at him, completely baffled, and said, man, I don't own a trench coat. There isn't even a coat rack in that room. They searched the whole house, every corner. Nothing. No sign anyone broke in, no coat anywhere. Tom kind of brushed it off, blamed the whiskey, said it was a vivid dream. But the narrator, he insists he knows what he saw. Someone or something was in that room watching him.
And it left before morning. That violation is deeply unsettling. But our next story, it moves to childhood. Yeah. To the bedroom, the place you should feel safest. The narrator, let's call him Mikey, was 6. His older brother Keith was 8. Shared room upstairs. Strict 8:30 bedtime. Middle of the night, Keith wakes Mikey up, shakes him, whispers urgently, shh, listen. And they both hear it, their mother's voice. But it's quiet. A whisper coming from downstairs, calling their names. Keith, Mikey. Mikey, being 6, just wants to go see what Mom wants. But Keith grabs him, terrified. He whispers, no, that's not Mom. Interesting, right? The younger one, Mikey, feels confident it is her. He wants to prove Keith wrong. Now, right outside their bedroom door was another door, the one leading to the stairs down to the first floor. It was closed. Mikey goes to that door, listens. Here's the whisper again, maybe a bit clearer. See? It's Mom.
And this detail is important for the fear factor. The stairway door was their main barrier to the downstairs, where their parents' bedroom also was. So whatever was whispering was already past the main living area, right at the foot of their stairs.
Exactly. So Mikey, trying to be brave, unlocks the stairway door, pulls it open, just a tiny crack to peek down, and he sees it. Clear as anything at the bottom of the dark staircase. A silhouette. A woman. But instantly, even at 6, he knows, with absolute certainty, that is not his mother. Then the figure sees him peering through the crack. And it speaks directly to him. Hi, sweetie, come down. He slams the door shut, locks it, runs back to the bedroom door, locks that too. Then both boys just start screaming, stomping on the floor, making as much noise as possible. Their parents come running up moments later, panicked. The boys managed to tell them what happened. Their mom insists, no, she was in bed the whole time. Never called them. They remember their dad rushing downstairs. Then, a little while later, a doorbell. They look out the window, see a police car. Their parents never really explained it. Just said some intruder maybe got in, but they were proud the boys didn't go downstairs. But the thing that always stayed with Mikey, the narrator. How did that woman know their names? That detail changes everything. It wasn't just random. It felt targeted. Sinister. Okay, let's shift continents now to Sweden. This third story involves a road trip. Isolation. Darkness. The narrator is 18, traveling with his parents and a friend, Anna. Their plans get messed up. Big soccer tournament nearby. All campsites are totally full, so they're forced to find somewhere remote. They end up in a nature reserve near this huge, dense forest. They find this small, lonely gravel parking lot. That's where they decide to pitch their tents. As it's getting dark, the narrator notices something. Odd. A single car parked way off at the edge of the lot. Old, beat-up condition. Empty. Just seems strange for that time of evening in such an isolated spot. Later, around midnight, parents are asleep. He and Anna are just sitting quietly. Then a noise from the parking lot breaks the silence. A sharp, metallic sound, like someone throwing a shovel onto the gravel, hard. Then another sound, like the shovel being tossed into a car trunk, followed by the slam of the trunk lid. And immediately after, that same old car starts up, speeds off fast, kicking up gravel, like it couldn't get away quick enough.
And adding to the unease, the narrator had texted a friend earlier. That friend warned him the nearby beach, accessible through this forest, had a bad reputation. Known connection to organized crime, illegal stuff. Suddenly, the shovel and the fleeing car sound much worse.
Definitely. So the car disappears. Then about 10 minutes of dead silence. Heavy silence. And that's shattered by a scream. A man's scream coming from deep in the woods. Loud. Blood-curdling. Sounded like pure agony. He calls out to his mom in the next tent, panicking. She says she didn't hear it, tries to calm him down. Maybe an animal, she suggests. Silence again. But this silence feels different. Threatening. Then they hear it. Footsteps. Someone walking slowly, stealthily, around their tent. Then moving toward the parents' tent. Then circling their car. Deliberate steps. Heavy. Cautious. Then the footsteps stop. Just complete silence again. And then that same car comes back. Headlights sweep across their tents briefly. They hear a car door slam nearby. Before they can even react, the car speeds off again, disappearing into the night. About 5 minutes later, a police car arrives. No sirens, but moving fast. It races off in the exact same direction the other car went. The next morning, everything feels different. He tells his mom everything he heard, and she admits it then. She did hear the footsteps, and right near their tent she heard heavy breathing. Like the kind you hear in horror movies, she said. She'd been terrified too, just hadn't said anything. But the really chilling part came later. He did some research on that specific forest and beach area. Turns out, shortly before their trip, a man had been murdered right there. Stabbed. Reports said it was gang debt related. And even worse, 2 other men had recently gone missing from that exact beach. Never found. It leaves you with so many questions. Who screamed? What was the shovel for? Who was walking around their tents? What exactly were the police chasing? Just chilling. Our last story tonight brings the fear much closer to home. Back to the suburbs, back to routines that feel safe until they're not. The narrator is 16. She's walking home late one night from her friend Haley's house. It's usually about a 20-minute walk, familiar streets. Her mom's out on a date. She's maybe 5 minutes into the walk when she hears them. Footsteps. Behind her, she glances back, sees a guy, middle-aged maybe, hood pulled up, hands deep in his hoodie pockets. He smiles at her, says something like, "How you doing?" Trying to sound casual, friendly. She gives a quick reply, keeps walking, tries to ignore the unease building inside her. But for the next 10 minutes, every time she looks back, every corner she turns, he's still there, keeping the same distance. Or maybe getting a little closer. He makes small talk. "Nice night out, isn't it?" Things like that. But the alarm bells are ringing loud now. Why is he still following her?
This is where it shifts. Following is one level of threat, but the true psychological turn, the deep violation, comes when the pursuer shows they know something personal, something private.
Yeah. Exactly. She makes the final turn onto her street, and the man speaks again. But his tone changes. It's not casual anymore. It's possessive, cold. He says, "I'm not going to hurt you. You live by the elementary school, right?" Knowing that detail. Her street. Her house's location. It breaks her nerve completely. She turns, sees his smile is different now, sinister. She just starts screaming, "Leave me alone," turns and runs, screaming bloody murder, just absolutely terrified. The man's friendly act disappears instantly. He yells, "Shut up, you little bitch." But her screaming worked. Porch lights start flicking on, people looking out windows. He gets spooked and runs off in the other direction. A friend, Brandon, she called him earlier, arrives just moments later, finds her shaken, drives her the last few yards home. But it's not over. Later, she and Brandon are inside her house, talking, trying to calm down, and they hear it again. Footsteps. Outside. Circling the house. Then, the unmistakable sound of the backyard gate creaking open. They run to an upstairs window, hearts pounding, trying to see into the dark yard. They don't see anyone. But then, clear as day, chillingly close, a man's voice says, "I see you up there, Sainter." They call 911 immediately. Police arrive. Her mom rushes home. Utter panic. They never caught the man. Her mom put up security cameras everywhere, really visible ones, trying to deter him. But the fear, it lingered. It was too much. Her mom couldn't stand watching her daughter live like that, constantly afraid in her own home. About a year later, she sold the house. They moved away, driven out by this anonymous man, this presence that shattered their sense of security. They never found out who he was. These 4 stories, they're all linked by that same terrifying threat, aren't they? That feeling of being watched when you think you're safe, that chilling moment when an intruder reveals that they know something about you they shouldn't. The realization that darkness can hide in familiar places, a friend's house, a nature spot, your own neighborhood.
Absolutely. What truly sticks with you is how these incidents just shatter your fundamental sense of safety. The terror doesn't end when the event is over. It continues because you know someone violated that space, watched you, knew things. That uncertainty lingers.
We hope recounting these experiences serves as a stark reminder. Sometimes danger is closer than it appears. Thank you for listening to these true accounts. If these stories resonated with you, if they left you feeling unsettled, please show your support. Like this, share it, and subscribe to Horror Docs. It ensures you won't miss our future explorations into true terror. Until next time, stay aware. Goodbye.